with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
And good morning. Thanks for jumping on Facebook Live on this Tuesday. I'm Mark Saul today. We're going to get to David Wolter's first warning forecast check in just a sec. But we do want to get you a look at some of the stories we are following here mid-morning on this Tuesday at Erie News Now. And we begin in Warren County, where state police say they have charged a man with murder now in connection to a deadly Monday night shooting. Troopers say they got called out last night to a home along Cold Springs Road. That's in Spring Creek Township in Warren County. That call came in around 7:30 last night. It was a reported shooting. When troopers got there, they say they found one person dead. They also took one man into custody. Well, state police now say they have charged that man they took into custody, identifying him as a 57-year-old Hager Brewer of that area. They also say the victim was a 57-year-old by the name of Victor Van Tassel. So far, investigators aren't releasing any details on exactly what they believe happened. But again, it's a fatal shooting in Warren County last night, Spring Creek Township. One person in custody charged with that crime. Count on Erie News Now, of course, for continuing coverage on this one throughout your Tuesday. We also have new information for you this morning on the arrest of that suspect in that deadly shooting at a busy local intersection last week. The fugitive task force took 20-year-old Reginald Welsh into custody at a home in the city of Erie on Monday. He's now charged with murder in connection to that shooting death last Tuesday out on Zimmerly Road in Mill Creek. The victim, 25-year-old Casey Nadolny out of Titusville. The coroner says he died of multiple gunshot wounds. Police say that suspect and victim were actually together at the Mill Creek Mall, along with a third person, shortly before that fatal shooting. Authorities have yet to release a potential motive in this case. Welsh in the Erie County Prison this morning with no bond set in that case. And the search efforts have resumed this morning for a Mill Creek man who had been reported missing over the weekend. The family of Rabin Subedi met with Mill Creek police on Monday, updating both sides on the case. They first reported their 21-year-old family member missing Saturday morning. The family then put out an appeal on social media looking for answers. Now, Mill Creek police say they pinged Subedi's cell phone down at Erie's Lampe Marina, and that's where they found his car abandoned Saturday night. Then they checked the security camera video from that area and say it shows the car being parked there around 10 o'clock Friday night. Then a person gets out and walks towards the water. But a couple of days worth of searches of that water came up empty. Those search efforts resumed a little earlier this morning. Well, we've been using the phrase Phase 1A for a while now when talking about Pennsylvania's vaccine rollout, and the state has yet to move past that initial phase of the effort. But it now looks like those phases could soon be phased out. Governor Tom Wolf on Monday said he wanted everyone included in that initial vaccine phase to get that shot appointment by tomorrow. Governor Wolf's now suggesting that the state may just skip phases 1B and 1C of the rollout. That's after President Biden announced that all states will be required to open vaccine eligibility to all adults by May 1st. So Governor Wolf says that deadline kind of pitches the whole ABC thing. Harrisburg health officials do continue to say Pennsylvania is on pace to meet that White House timeline. Well, over the past year or so of the pandemic, school leaders have put a lot of their focus on in-person learning, staying open for those kids. Well, now in some spots, the focus is starting to shift to the effects that virtual learning long-term is having on students when it comes to comprehension. Erie News Now's Molly Samora takes a closer look.
We haven't had the luxury in a lot of cases of really thinking and planning for recovery because we've been immersed in the crisis, right? Immersed in keeping our schools open.
Warren School District Superintendent Amy Stewart tells me it's been a challenging year for school districts as they overcome all the changes the pandemic has brought. Stewart tells me they've been lucky having students in person for the majority of the year. But their concern right now is the 30% that chose to do 100% virtual learning.
Some kids that are definitely failing and they're not interested in coming back to school.
She says some students are virtual learning for the convenience, while others are learning remote over health concerns of family members.
And that isn't going well for all of those kids. And the parents are having to make some pretty tough decisions as to whether, what's more important, the health of somebody in the household or whether the child is being successful in school or not.
Stewart tells me while they're doing their best at teaching students virtual, they're concerned about the recovery of those students in the future.
We can do the very best we can do with these kids that are virtual. I mean, we're going to give it 110 no matter what, but there really is no substitute for being in person with teachers. There just really isn't. It's tough.
Our Molly Samora reporting there. Meteorologist David Wolter, he's got his eyes outside, blue skies, warm stuff. This is still March, right?
Yeah, temperatures moving up in a fairly big way right now, just 2 degrees away from that 60-degree mark. Upper Peach Street looking down by the mall. Plenty of sunshine out there. Need the sunglasses as you head on out, and you can dress comfortably this afternoon. 58 degrees, depends on how you feel about that. The winds are a little bit of an issue today coming from the south at 20 miles per hour, but that's a big reason why those temperatures will be able to go on up. And with the wind and low humidity, fire danger going up a little bit, although the ground's a little bit more saturated from the rains we've seen over the last few days. Right now, we are in the 40s in Corey as well as Clymer, 51 in Meadville. You can see 49 back there into Warren, 50 in Bradford. Winds pretty steady from the south, and they'll continue to increase 20, 25 miles per hour, maybe some gusts over 30. Futurecast has us nice and quiet for today, although some high clouds start to pan across the sky. And then we get into the evening hours, clouds continuing to thicken up. Some rain late. You can see this line right here. This is indicative of the actual cold front coming on through. Winds turn around, and yes, temperatures do get colder. We'll be dealing with some bouts of light rain into the afternoon, drizzle, mist out there, maybe a couple of breaks in the clouds. Then on Thursday, another shot of cold air, and right now our model not really showing us a whole lot, but I still think that we could see some light accumulations, especially if we're able to get a little lake effect into the afternoon. I know it's April, but we can still get the snow. Here's zone outlook for today. Temperatures upper 60s and lower 70s. Enjoy the sunshine. We're looking grand across Crawford County today, well into the 60s, and that goes for Warren County as well, with some of those high afternoon clouds. We'll talk about the rain, the snow, and the warmer weather this Easter weekend in a few minutes.
And we also have some big news for folks who might be headed to Frontier Park. Perhaps today. This news is not going to take effect today, but yeah, big news for Frontier Park fans. The slides that have arrived there. We've been talking about this for a while now. Crews just delivered all of these slide parts to Frontier Park, and work is getting underway to put all of these slides for kids in place. 3 different ones going to be installed on a steep grade to the west of the Frontier Park playground. Local developer Rick Griffith came up with the idea for the slides, really led the way as far as raising all the money for it goes, and as a result, they're going to call the attraction the Griff down at Frontier Park. $470,000 worth of grants and donations helping to pay for this one. They say most of the work on these Frontier Park slides should be finished up by late May. The slides themselves ready for action by early June. And we're slowly starting to see some traditional events return, sometimes with restrictions. Easter egg hunts on that list in some spots here in 2021. The Erie Zoo is getting set to host its annual Spring Egg Venture, set for this coming Saturday. Now, you do need to reserve tickets online ahead of time. Can't just show up at the zoo on Saturday, but their egg hunt is set for 10 a.m. Saturday, going to run till 3 p.m. And over in Warren, it's an Easter egg hunt planned for Betts Park. They say it's going to go on rain or shine on Saturday. That one's scheduled for 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And it doesn't look like Mother Nature's going to throw any monkey wrenches into those Easter egg hunt plans, David.
It's between now and really as we get into Friday. That's when we have a little bit more of that disruptive weather. But over the weekend, yeah, the Easter weekend looking great. 56 degrees for those egg hunts on Easter Sunday. We'll have some areas of clouds, but you can see the weekend looking pretty good. But tomorrow we've got the rain. We've got temperatures that could actually be the warmest during the early morning hours as that cold front comes on in. So rain showers during the day. We're only seeing temperatures around 32 on Thursday. We'll have some areas of wet snow. Looks like accumulations will be fairly light overall, but we'll continue to dive into the weather models and give you a better idea over the next 24 hours. And then by the end of the week, you can see Good Friday dealing with some nicer weather overall, at least some brighter sunshine over the weekend, 50s, and eventually 60s next week. So even with the cold kind of lodged in there, it doesn't stick around too long, as it typically doesn't this time of year.
All right, we'll do our best to get out there and enjoy those 70-degree temperatures today. And we've got 30 minutes of news headed your way at noon. That is on WSEE. And we'll be back here on Facebook Live about the same time tomorrow. See you then.